High school had a way of making everything feel urgent: tests, social status, friendships, and crushes. For me, Tyler, nothing had ever felt more urgent than Mia. She wasn't just pretty, she had this mischievous spark, a magnetic confidence that made everyone lean a little closer when she spoke. And, of course, I was hopelessly drawn to her. It all started on a lazy Friday afternoon in the school courtyard. The sun was warm, the air buzzing with the laughter and chatter of students ready for the weekend. I sat with a small group of friends, attempting to look nonchalant while stealing glances at Mia across the quad. She was surrounded by her friends, flipping her hair, laughing at something none of us could hear. And then she caught my eye. Just for a moment, a smirk curling at the corners of her lips, and I felt a jolt of electricity. That was it, I was completely undone. "What's got you staring so hard, Tyler?" whispered Mark, my best friend, nudging me. "Nothing," I mumbled, though my face betrayed me. Mia's gaze didn't waver. Instead, she sauntered over, confident, teasing, with a glint in her eyes that made my stomach twist nervously. "Hey Tyler," she said, her voice sweet but sly. "You're always so serious. Don't you ever just let loose?" I laughed nervously. "I guess I do sometimes." Her smirk widened. "Sometimes, huh? I think you're too uptight. Maybe you need a little push." She reached into her bag and pulled out a folded piece of paper. "I've got a dare for you. Something fun. Something unforgettable." I felt a knot in my stomach. Mia was always full of surprises, and this wasn't the first time she dragged someone into one of her little schemes. But something about the sparkle in her eyes made me nod. I couldn't refuse. "All right, what is it?" I asked, trying to sound casual. She handed me the paper, and I unfolded it carefully. My eyes scanned the words, and my jaw dropped. "Wear a skirt to school tomorrow. And not just any skirt, a full outfit, just like the girls. You'll survive the day without freaking out, right?" I stared at it in disbelief. My friends erupted into laughter around me. My heart pounded. A skirt? At school? Tomorrow? The thought alone made my cheeks burn. And yet, beneath the panic, a strange thrill stirred. Mia leaned in closer, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "You will do it, won't you? I mean, it's just a dare. Just one day. Think of it as character building." I swallowed hard, my mind racing. There was humiliation, absolutely. Endless stares, teasing, probably the gossip of the entire school by lunch. And yet, part of me couldn't deny the curiosity, the allure of stepping into an experience so unlike anything I'd ever done. I guess. I'll try," I stammered. Her grin widened to a full, triumphant smile. "Yes. That's the spirit. Don't worry, I'll make sure it's unforgettable." She leaned closer, whispering just for me. "And maybe, just maybe, you'll like it more than you think." The rest of the afternoon passed in a haze. My friends teased relentlessly, but the nervous anticipation was intoxicating. I imagined the skirt, the movement, the sensation. My mind couldn't help wandering to what it would feel like. The swish of the fabric, the unfamiliar sensation of stepping out so exposed, so vulnerable. I felt a mix of dread and excitement unlike anything I'd experienced. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. The folded outfit Mia had left on my desk mocked me silently. Skirt, blouse, socks, shoes. Every piece a reminder that tomorrow, nothing would be normal. I tried to imagine walking through the school hallways, every student noticing, every whisper directed at me. And yet, beneath the anxiety, there was a spark of anticipation. This dare was more than a prank. It was a journey, a challenge, a secret experiment in vulnerability, attention, and maybe even self-discovery. I didn't sleep much that night. Every hour ticked by painfully slow. The skirt on my chair seemed to glow under the lamplight, a silent challenge daring me to step into a world of exposure I had never dared to explore. By the time the morning arrived, my hands were clammy, my heart racing. I dressed carefully, following Mia's instructions to the letter. The skirt swished around my knees, the blouse snug but comfortable, the socks pulled just right. I caught my reflection in the mirror and barely recognized myself. Tyler, The boy who had never dared stand out, now stared back at me from a reflection that felt both strange and thrilling. And then the doorbell rang. A reminder. Mia's challenge had begun. The moment I stepped into the school hallway, reality hit me like a wave. The skirt swished awkwardly around my knees, the blouse tight at the shoulders, and the knee-high socks made every step feel like walking on a tightrope. Every footstep echoed, every movement felt exaggerated, and I couldn't ignore the magnetic pull of eyes on me. The first whispers started immediately. "Is that Tyler? No way, he's really wearing a skirt. Looks kinda cute, actually." My face heated up, the color rising to my ears and neck. I wanted to disappear, to crawl under a desk, anything to escape the gaze of the entire school. And yet, there was something intoxicating about it. Every stare, every whisper, every pointed finger made me more aware of my body, my posture, my movements. I tried to walk calmly, but the swish of the skirt around my legs felt unnatural, every step a reminder that I was being seen in a way I had never been seen before. My friends laughed behind me, some teasing, some genuinely fascinated. Even Mark, my best friend, gave me a look of incredulous admiration. By first period, the whispers had grown into more deliberate teasing. Sitting at my desk, I felt the prickle of eyes following me as I adjusted the skirt for the 100th time. The swish of the fabric against my legs, the tightness of the blouse, the way the socks hugged my calves. It all made me painfully aware of every movement, every twitch, every slight misstep. And then it happened, a direct comment from one of the girls in my class. "Hey Tyler, careful. Don't trip over that cute little skirt." She giggled, the entire class erupting into muffled laughter. I froze. My face burned hotter than the sun. The humiliation was intense, almost unbearable. But beneath it, I felt a strange spark of something else. Curiosity? Thrill? A flicker of excitement that I couldn't quite place. I adjusted the skirt again, feeling the soft fabric brush against my legs, and noticed how the movement made me conscious of my body in ways I'd never experienced. By lunchtime, the cafeteria was a battlefield. Students pointed, whispered, some even recording discreetly on their phones. I navigated the maze of tables carefully, each step deliberate, trying to avoid collisions that would draw even more attention. My crush, Mia, sat at her usual spot, smirking knowingly. She leaned over to her friends and whispered something, and I could practically feel her amusement like a tangible force pressing against my shoulders. "Nice sway, Tyler," she said as I passed, her voice loud enough for a few nearby students to hear. My face flamed, but I forced myself to keep walking, holding my head high, despite the shock waves of embarrassment coursing through me. The afternoon brought a new challenge: gym class. Normally, I loved sports, but the thought of running in a skirt made my stomach churn. As we lined up for warm-ups, every step made me conscious of the sway, the fabric, the tightness around my waist. Even the simple act of sitting during stretches felt like an ordeal. I tried to focus on the exercises, but every glance from my classmates reminded me that I was not only performing physically but performing socially as well. By mid-afternoon, exhaustion and self-consciousness began to mingle. The skirt, once just a garment, had become a symbol of vulnerability. Every stare, every whisper, every giggle seemed magnified, pressing down on me from all sides. And yet, amidst the humiliation, I discovered something remarkable, a subtle awareness of myself that I had never had before. The swish of the fabric, the movement of my body, the way my posture had to adjust. It forced me to focus, to inhabit the moment fully, to confront a side of myself I hadn't known existed. Each step, each glance, each wave of laughter became part of an unspoken test. Could I endure this? Could I survive exposure and remain composed? The final challenge of the day came unexpectedly. Mia had arranged a small fashion showcase in the empty art room, a private audience of a few of her friends, all eager to see the dare in action. She grinned as I entered, eyes gleaming. "All right, Tyler," she said, hands on her hips, "show us how it's done. Walk, pose, be confident. Impress us." My heart sank. My entire body screamed resistance, yet something deeper, a mix of fear, anticipation, and a hint of thrill, propelled me forward. Step by step, I moved across the room, feeling every ripple of the skirt, every shift of my body, every gaze directed at me. To my surprise, as I continued, A strange sense of empowerment began to seep in. The humiliation was still there, raw and undeniable, but now it was paired with a fleeting confidence. I realized that even in exposure, even in vulnerability, I could exert control. My posture, my movements, my reactions, they were mine to command. Mia clapped when I finished, laughter in her eyes but approval too. Not bad, Tyler. Not bad at all. Looks like this dare might have been good for you. I nodded, chest pounding, sweat prickling my skin. My face still burned, but the mix of embarrassment and subtle exhilaration left me reeling. Walking home that afternoon, I thought about the day. Every moment of discomfort, every stare, every whispered laugh had been a lesson. Not just in humiliation, but in self-awareness, resilience, and the strange thrill of stepping into a new persona. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew this was only the beginning. Mia's dare had opened a door I hadn't expected, revealing a side of me that was vulnerable, aware, and maybe curious for more. The next morning, my alarm rang like a warning bell. My stomach churned at the thought of the day ahead. The skirt sat neatly on my chair, the outfit from yesterday freshly pressed and mocking me with the memory of every glance, every laugh, every whisper. Mia had promised that today would be unforgettable, and somehow, I knew she wasn't kidding. Walking to school felt heavier than usual. Every step in the skirt reminded me of yesterday's humiliation and, strangely, the thrill I hadn't expected. I kept my head down, but even so, whispers began almost immediately. Look, it's Tyler again. Wow, he's really doing it. I could feel eyes on me from every corner, every hallway, every classroom. The swish of the skirt, the tightness of the blouse, and the knee-high socks made me hyper-aware of every movement. Each step felt like a statement. I was walking a tightrope between embarrassment and something I couldn't yet define. By the first period, Mia appeared unexpectedly. She leaned casually against the doorway, smirk wide, eyes sparkling with mischief. "Ready for round 2?" she asked, voice dripping with playful menace. Before I could answer, she waved her hand toward the schedule on the board. "Today, everyone will see you, Tyler. No hiding, no excuses. Let's see how far you can go." I gulped. My pulse raced, my hands clammy. Yesterday had been challenging enough, but today, she was raising the stakes. The whispers in the hallways grew louder, more deliberate. Every glance felt magnified, every giggle amplified. The first test came in the cafeteria. Mia had secretly arranged for a group of students to record snippets on their phones. "Let's see your walk again, Tyler," she whispered as I navigated the maze of tables. My knees trembled, the skirt swaying with each deliberate step. Students laughed openly, some pointing, some whispering behind their hands. My face was on fire. And then she added a twist. "You have to balance a tray of food while walking across the cafeteria, all without dropping anything, or losing composure." My stomach sank. Plates, cups, food, all precarious on the tray, while the skirt clung to my legs, every movement exaggerated and vulnerable. I took a deep breath and began, each step painstakingly measured. The whispers crescendoed, the cameras zooming, every eye locked on me. Halfway across, I stumbled slightly, the tray tilting, food threatening to spill. Panic surged. Faces blurred in my vision. But then, almost instinctively, I steadied myself, adjusted my grip, and finished the walk. A mix of relief and exhilaration washed over me. The humiliation had peaked, but I had survived it. And strangely, the thrill of pushing through, of mastering the impossible, left a spark deep inside. The afternoon brought gym class, a nightmare magnified. Running laps in a skirt, every stride making the fabric sway and cling, every glance from classmates a dagger of attention. But something had changed. Yesterday, I had feared exposure. Today, I felt a strange awareness of my body, a subtle control over movements, a strange satisfaction in enduring scrutiny. Then came the final challenge, orchestrated by Mia herself, the auditorium. A staged fashion parade with the principal, teachers, and selected students watching. The stage was bright, the spotlight harsh, the entire room anticipating my every move. "Time to show your best posture, Tyler," Mia whispered. "Walk like you own it." My legs shook as I stepped onto the stage. The skirt swayed with every movement, the blouse tight, the socks high, the heels slightly slippery. My heart pounded, my palms sweaty. The audience murmured, some laughing, some whispering, some watching in awe. Step by step, I moved across the stage. Every whisper, every pointed finger, every camera flash tested my composure. I stumbled slightly, then regained balance, shoulders back, chin up, eyes forward. A strange thrill coursed through me. The humiliation was undeniable, yet the control, the awareness, the sheer audacity of performing under scrutiny ignited something new. Mia clapped, laughter in her eyes. "Not bad, Tyler. Not bad at all. You're surprisingly graceful." My face flamed, but beneath the embarrassment, pride surged. I had survived the ultimate dare, endured the peak of scrutiny, and discovered a side of myself I hadn't known existed. Vulnerable, yes. Exposed, absolutely. But stronger, more self-aware, more capable than ever. And then came the note. Slipped into my locker by Mia, post-event. "Today was only the beginning. You've learned to endure, Tyler. Tomorrow, you'll explore what lies beyond endurance. And discover whether curiosity or fear guides you." I stared at it, heart pounding. The dare wasn't over. The next step promised to push boundaries even further. My body ached, my mind reeled, but beneath it all, I realized I craved more. More tests, more exposure, more understanding of this strange, intoxicating vulnerability that Mia had unlocked in me. The school day ended, but the adrenaline didn't fade. My legs ached from navigating hallways, cafeteria chaos, gym challenges, and the spotlight of the auditorium. The skirt that had felt alien yesterday now seemed like a second skin, fragile, teasing, and impossible to ignore. As I slumped against my locker, my chest still pounding, I found a small envelope tucked neatly inside. Mia's unmistakable handwriting smirked back at me. "Survived today. Good. But endurance is only the beginning. Tomorrow, the dare continues, and you'll face more than embarrassment. You'll confront choices about who you are when no one else is watching." My stomach flipped. Choices about who I was. The skirt, the sway of my steps, the attention. It had already opened a door inside me I hadn't expected. Vulnerability, fear, excitement, even curiosity. I hadn't fully understood how much I craved it. And now, Mia was promising to push me further. Walking home, the autumn breeze tugged at the fabric around my knees, teasing me, reminding me of every eye, every whisper, every laugh. I replayed every moment of the day, the cafeteria tray, gym laps, the stage parade. Humiliation had been unavoidable, yet for the first time, it had mingled with a strange thrill, a realization that I could endure more than I'd thought possible. I paused at the corner near my house, staring at the folded skirt on my chair through the window. My reflection caught in the glass, a boy in love with a crush, terrified of tomorrow, yet secretly craving the next challenge. The dare had become more than a joke. It had become an exploration of limits, a test of courage, and a mirror reflecting a side of me I had never dared to see. Then my phone buzzed, a message from Mia. "Tomorrow, everyone will watch. Are you ready to see how far curiosity can take you?" I froze. Everyone would watch. The thought sent shivers down my spine. My heart raced, my palms grew sweaty, and yet, a small defiant part of me thrilled at the idea. I couldn't explain it. Fear, excitement, humiliation, and anticipation all collided inside me. By the time I reached my room, the skirt lay on the chair like a challenge waiting to be answered. I touched the fabric softly, feeling its weight, the soft swish, the reminder of everything I had endured today. Could I really do it again tomorrow? Could I walk even further into this daring world Mia had created? I sank onto the bed, staring at the ceiling. Images of the day flashed like a movie reel. Every giggle, every stare, every small victory. My cheeks still burned, but beneath the humiliation, I sensed something awakening, a mixture of daring curiosity and quiet strength. And then I realized the truth. This wasn't just a dare. It was a choice. Every step I took in the skirt, every moment of exposure, was a step toward discovering who I could be when the world watched, and even when it didn't. I glanced once more at the folded outfit on the chair. The envelope, the whispered challenge, Mia's smirk. It all promised more, promised tests I hadn't imagined, promised a journey into vulnerability and courage that had only just begun. As I lay down, My phone buzzed again with a final message from Mia, simple, teasing, and chillingly thrilling. Sleep well, Tyler. Tomorrow, the dare truly begins. I stared at it, heart pounding. The skirt, the exposure, the humiliation, they weren't over. Tomorrow would be bigger, more public, more revealing. And somewhere deep inside, I realized I couldn't wait. Would I survive the next dare? Would I find the courage to endure more? Or would the fear finally catch up with me? I didn't know. And that uncertainty, that thrilling, terrifying unknown, was exactly what Mia wanted me to feel. The screen went dark. The skirt lay waiting. And I knew, with a mix of dread and excitement, that my journey had only just begun.